We truly are living in a Black Mirror episode. The Charlie Kirk shooter was arrested, and there are some very, very disturbing details, including this video of the Utah governor describing engravings on the weapon and the bullet casings, some of them so weird and wacky, one of which the Utah governor said out loud, and I don't even think he understands what he was saying.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark-colored towel. The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 .30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices bulges, capital OWO, what's this question mark." Inscriptions on the three unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow and symbol, and three down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO."
Oh, brother, I am trying to be sensitive here because we are talking about something that is horrible and tragic. This man was murdered in front of a lot of people. That must have been absolutely traumatic and horrifying to experience, to witness, and also for the surviving widow and children. So I'm trying to be sensitive here, but I don't really think the Utah governor even understood what he was saying out loud. The first one, the notices bulge, ooh, God help me. I can't even believe I just said that out loud. I don't understand if that engraving was like making fun of people who would say that unironically, or the shooter was unironically saying that. Of course, the fascist one and the Bella Ciao one are very like anti-fascist references. The last one, I don't even think you have to be involved in like internet culture to not read it. I mean, if you read this, you are gay, LMFAO. But it's very clear that the shooter was like very heavily entwined with like chronically online internet culture and also just like extreme politics online. I think it's also extremely sad to see that the authorities weren't even able to figure this out. The way that they figured it out is that the shooter's father turned his own son in. So it really makes you wonder, like, how in the world were the authorities and FBI not able to figure out who the shooter was? And what I do want to say is like, oh, well, good on the father of the shooter for, turning his son in, right? But then there are some extremely disturbing details that come forward because, of course, right now, what we're hearing is that the shooter is in custody and the shooter is just reserving their right to remain silent, which is not a huge surprise. But right now, the authorities are trying to figure out what are the motives, right? Now, there's a lot of speculation right now. But back to what I was saying, again, I would like to say good on the parents for turning their son in. But there's a lot of information. Like, the parents of the shooter, Tyler Robinson, encouraged their son's interest in firearms by gifting him a build-your-own gun kit for Christmas, which, like, that is pretty disturbing information. This one I was able to find. There are images online, like, showing the shooter, Tyler Robinson's extreme interest in firearms. This one, he's literally holding a bazooka. And the concern here with this kind of thing is not like, look, if someone likes hunting or firearms and they have an interest in that, like, okay, so be it. I'm not going to judge that. But the concern here is when someone is chronically online and they are becoming highly and extremely politicized and also very, very full of hate, which is exactly how people describe the shooter. That is when things get very, very concerning. And I'm not surprised that Discord is involved with this as well, because allegedly Tyler Robinson, the shooter, may have revealed details about this planned shooting and assassination to his roommate. And it looks like the communications with the roommate are part of the evidence gathered by the authorities. So it looks like the messages from the shooter to his roommate stated a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The other messages also refer to engraving bullets and how the rifle was unique according to law enforcement, and the messages from Contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits, which automatically puts the roommate in a situation where they are an accomplice now. If they knew about this and it seems suspicious, I don't understand, like, I just don't understand. If you receive messages about like a drop point and a rifle and all this suspicious stuff, you're now an accomplice if you did not contact the authorities about that. And what's even wilder is that Discord is disputing the information, claiming its investigation showed while Robinson had a Discord account, there's no evidence that the suspect planned this incident or promoted violence on Discord, which it seems like that's the case. It seems like there were plans and they were discussed on Discord and messages, which I just don't understand, like, how Discord doesn't have more moderation, because it does seem like a place where people like the shooter congregate. People who are full of hate, extremely politicized, like very extremist political views, and people who also unfortunately have an interest in hurting others or weapons. So according to Discord, the messages referenced in recent reporting about planning details do not appear to be Discord messages, the company said. These were communications between the suspect's roommate and a friend after the shooting, where the roommate was recounting the contents of a note the suspect had left somewhere. We had removed the suspect's account for violating our off-platform behavior policy. That to me is so suspicious. This is all alleged, but I can't help but feel like Discord just removed the account, cleaned up all the servers and any evidence, and said, we don't want anything to do with this. That feels very, very fishy to me. But it does seem like Discord officials are working with the authorities to reveal what they do know about Tyler Robinson's online presence. And it looks like a Discord spokesperson did say, we are deeply saddened by this tragedy and extend our condolences to the Kirk family and everyone affected. But what does seem the case is that the authorities are trying to find some sort of motive for why the shooter did what he did. And it does seem a lot of people are just like blaming this side or that side of politics. They're blaming just an increased political divide nationwide. But at least what my opinion is on this is this seems to be a growing problem. More and more people are online and more people are being exposed to like very extremist politics and like just this like chronically online state, which also seems to be intertwined with like becoming very, very full of hate. One thing I would recommend, watching the Netflix TV series Adolescence. That was the first and only thing I've watched so far that I feel tackles a subject like this. While there was a very, very big focus of the show on like incel culture, which I still don't completely quite understand, it does tackle people who are chronically online, parents who are just not aware of what is happening with their children, increasing just like extremist political involvement, and also like an interest in weapons or hurting other people. So yeah, I would definitely urge you to watch Adolescence, because I do feel it is a TV series that tackles a topic like this. I think it's something to be talked about. It is disturbing if Discord did have evidence that the shooter was planning to do something horrible like this. I would hope that's not the case, but I do hope that if that is the case, that Discord is held liable for that. I also am thinking that the roommate is probably going to be found as an accomplice. And overall, I just think for someone who is more and more political, more and more full of hate, like the family is reporting, like people around him were noticing, like, oh, he's very political these last few months. He's very, very full of hate and vitriol. And then also to consider the fact that, like, he's very interested in weapons and guns. It is very sad that no one intervened before something horrible like this did happen. So yeah, anyways, just the engravings were really, really unusual. It really was like a Black Mirror episode. Watching the video of the Utah governor saying all those things out loud, it is just really, really disturbing and unusual and odd. And of course, it is very sad that someone was killed. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that.